I see a distinction, and I want to break this down. Who are the names? Who are the names that you think of, like guys who are not quarterback whisperers, because that's going way too far. Just guys that are, when I think of quarterback coaches, guys that have done great as a head coach, who have really molded quarterbacks. Who are they?
Andy Reid.
Okay.
I go to Andy Reid, number one.
Right.
You think about the history in Philadelphia, Donovan McNabb. I mean, he won games with A.J. Feely. He won games with Ty Dittmer.
Agreed.
He won games with Coy Dittmer. He's won games with Michael Vick. He's won games with Kevin Cobb. He's won games with Nick Foles. He won games with Alex Smith. Yeah,
we all agree.
Andy Reid is numero uno right now.
All right, who else?
We think Bill Walsh,
of course,
coaching up the guys.
Okay, Bill Walsh.
I think Mike Shanahan at times.
Okay.
Mike Shanahan deserves some loves there.
Okay.
Mike Holmgren.
Okay.
San Francisco's own Mike Holmgren. All right. Who else do we need? Tom Moore.
Okay.
Long time with Indianapolis Colts.
Would you put Joe Gibbs in there?
Absolutely.
Okay, me too.
I love that. That's a great call.
Very
Super Bowls with
put
three
Bruce
different
Arians
quarterbacks
on there too.
Bruce Arians. Okay.
Bruce Arians is really good.
So there's a common denominator on a lot of those guys. Mike Holmgren, Mike Shanahan, I don't know, but Holmgren played quarterback. Bill Walsh played quarterback.
Yep.
Okay, this is in college or in high school or even into the pros. Doug Peterson played quarterback. All right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the guys who, we talk about how the empowerment of Jim Harbaugh when it comes to Alex Smith played quarterback.
Right.
I think there's something there.
Somebody said Rich Ganjararlo.
No.
Dante Wiley.
I don't necessarily think that just because you played quarterback, you are hence then a quarterback whisperer, whatever. But I think you see the game different.
Yep.
And I look at someone like Andy Reid. Andy Reid, what is he? Well, he's an offensive lineman at his heart. Offensive lineman. Joe Gibbs, offensive lineman at his heart.
And what do they say about offensive linemen, though? Smartest guys on the team.
Exactly. Right? So Shanahan, and I want to go Kyle Shanahan, is the only guy on this list as we're like comparing. And Doug Peterson played quarterback behind Brett Favre. Shanahan's a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was. Now, I'm not saying it's the end-all, be-all, that you played one position so you can't coach another. But what I'm saying is how you see the game sometimes is through how you played. We think about Bruce Bochy. He was a catcher, right? Catchers do a really good job as managers.
Calling the game.
Because they're thinking the entire time, right? The entire time, right? And I look at these quarterback whisperers, these guys that get the most out of the quarterback. It always seems to be offensive linemen and former quarterbacks. There's something to this.
Right.
And I look at Shanahan and I think like so many times I feel like he devalues the quarterback. Just get me the ball, get it to this guy on this spot because he sees things through the prism of a wide receiver. Do you buy that?
No,
a little?
A little. There's something there to it. There's something there to it. And maybe that's why he's so impatient when it comes to the quarterback. And which leads me to believing that these next nine games for Brock Purdy, it's tough for me to say, after going through the Jimmy Garoppolo experience and going through the Trey Lance experience and seeing the way Shanahan has handled quarterbacks during his time in San Francisco, it's hard for me to just say, yeah, I know Brock Purdy's our franchise quarterback. Part of me, a lot of me, thinks that Brock Purdy is playing for that the next 9 games. The next 9 games are everything for Brock. Now, I still believe he's going to be back next season.
Yes.
And he's going to probably start. But in terms of long-term future, the next 5 years, I think Brock Purdy right now is playing for that. So to your point about seeing it through that prism, yes, I do agree there. And the way he communicates with the quarterback. Now, Jim Harbaugh was a communicator. Jim Harbaugh, what was he? A former quarterback.
Exactly.
Jim Harbaugh played in the league for 14, 15 years? And played a long time. And so when you saw him hitting his shoulder pads with Alex Smith or hitting his shoulder pads with Colin Kaepernick, he got what it took in that position. He gets the mindset of a quarterback. Yes. And so that's all I always think. Does Shanahan ever just wrap his arm around the quarterback and just talk to him? He's always in the iPad. Well, that's a little strange to me.
Well, and I think
if we want to talk about sideline etiquette, it's always strange to me. Like Sean McVay, he's always talking to Matthew Stafford.
Yes.
Brock Purdy runs off the field. Shanahan's on the other side of the sideline.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just because like I listen to Bill Parcells. He cut his teeth defense, right? Like that's how he cut his teeth. But also he sees the game through a defensive lineman's prism. He used to say that all the time. That's how I see the game. When you listen to Belichick started in special teams.
Yep.
And then was defense. He sees the game through special teams and the defensive lens. Can he coach offense? Of course.
Well, I think he was wasn't he like a tight ends or wide receivers coach with the Denver Broncos back in the day?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's coached everything.
But he's quirky. And we all agree, like, Belichick sees the game a little differently, right? And look, he was very lucky and he made the most of the Tom Brady experience. You can win at a high level, not seeing it through the quarterback's prism. I'm just asking for Shanahan, like, it does seem like this quarterback thing is a bugaboo for him in terms of moving off of it so quickly and sometimes not empowering that guy and not seeing it through their lens. And I look at some of the people that I attribute to being the best when it comes to handling quarterbacks, all see it through an offensive lineman or a quarterback's prism. Yep. And I'm looking across the sideline this weekend, and there's Doug Peterson, backed up far forever, okay? Did great work with Carson Wentz.
Also was in Kansas City with Andy Reid.
Did great work with Nick Foles. Yep. Doing really good work with Trevor Lawrence. And again, you can win a variety of ways. But boy, I look over at what he's doing, and I'm like, I like the way he sees the game.
Well, we get an interesting text here. And next time we need somebody who really knows the 49ers on this show.
I would love to.
I've been hearing a lot about this, and I don't know.
What?
I don't know if this is the case or not. But the 707 Comcast Business Text Line. You guys are missing the fact that Shanahan does not let the quarterback call an audible at the line.
Well, how long have I been saying that?
Well, is that true? Because I don't know how. I don't know what's going on the field.
He said in the past that when they go to the line at times, they'll have two plays, a run or a pass play.
And he just checks either to the run or the pass?
They have two plays called. Now, when you watch the other quarterbacks in the league, they get to the line, and they'll just completely deviate from the play. Like Kirk Cousins, how many times did Kirk Cousins switch up everything, move guys around, pointing the it wasn't.
So why does Shanahan not allow that?
I don't know.
Why would Shanahan not allow that?
I can't speak with authority that he can or
we're going to see Trevor Lawrence. He's going to check. He'll check. Joe Burrow checks all the. Joe Burrow, the most impressive play to me wasn't a throw. It was when he was under center. Yes. Check. Got in shotgun. Check. Empty gun. 5 wides out there. Yes. And he ran a quarterback draw on 3rd 9 for a first down.
Yes.
I said, damn, he checked that. Wow. Shanahan? Why wouldn't he allow his quarterback to do that?
He doesn't want you to change what he thinks is the right call.
Now, here's an interesting quote from Kurt Warner.
This is also why I believe he doesn't like drop back passing. Yeah. When you look at 4 or 5 wide passing, he doesn't want you to be in control.
Yeah, that's insane to me.
Well, I'm just telling you.
That's insane to me. I'm not saying you're wrong or anything like that. That's not what I'm implying.
Think about how many times they've done that.
That's not what I'm implying.
Think about you've watched every every snap.
Yeah.
How many times have they go, we're going 4 or 5 wide, and I'm letting my quarterback choose where he wants to go.
But to not believe in drop back passing is asinine. That's the basic fundamental of pro football. It's the first thing you learn, drop back pass. One of the first things you learn. Outside of running the ball up the middle, you'll learn drop back passing. How can you not be a fan of the drop back passing? I do want to get to this, Jasky. Yeah. Kurt Warner, Willard and Dibbs. Somebody said something in my ear. 2 minutes? All right, I'll play it on the other side then. We got Gene Fournette coming up from the Florida Union Times. I do want to get to this cut about Kurt Warner because he said something about, is it worth the Niners to have the trade-off of being elite when ahead but struggle when behind? There's a lot of things going on with that cut right there. But Gene Fournette, Florida Union Times, we're going to go behind enemy lines and figure out who the Jaguars are and how they feel about the 49ers this week heading into Duval County to take on that red-hot Jacksonville Jaguars who've won 5 in a row. To me, that's not allowing your quarterback to audible. Now, we always hear about Brock Purdy being a smart quarterback, and I believe he is a smart quarterback. Why wouldn't you empower your quarterback and have some trust in your quarterback to check out of a play? Why does it have to be my way or a highway? This is why I always told you I never believed it would work with Shanahan and Brady because of what we're talking about today.
I agree with.
I'm not a system player. I am a system.
If you were to pick out the area where Jimmy thrived the most as a Niner, I would point to 2-minute drives when Kyle's not the one calling plays.
See,
I actually think he was better in those hurry-up moments when things were a little scrambly and he had to kind of just play backyard ball. So I actually think that was when Jimmy was at his best.
One of the craziest quotes Jimmy had was when Trey Lance got hurt in the Seattle game and Jimmy played. He goes, "Yeah, it was just kind of cool. I was just winging it, just playing old school backyard football. I love that." And then the next week they go to Denver and he's running Kyle's offense and they score 10 points.
Not that he wasn't wildly successful with Kyle's playbook. I'm just saying I think the best version of him when he was kind of freelancing. And Trace and I don't know.
That's
maybe
something.
It's just me.
That's very interesting.